Is this the official start?
I didn't think I'd get you.
Very busy, but you drive a hard bargain free.
I knew that's what you were worth.
That's right. Yep.
Nothing.
My mom would say otherwise, but to the rest of America, I come very cheap.
5, 6, 7, 8. We got Big Theater Kid Energy.
Hello and welcome to Big Theater Kid Energy. I am your host, Ryan Garcia. This is the show where I go around and see local LA theater, either original productions or those touring through Southern California, and let you know what I think. This is your least pretentious theater review podcast. Today, I am joined by my very white friend, David Abed. Hello, David.
Thought funny, thought good looking, Midwest.
I was going to say good.
White.
But then I thought, let's start off on a place you hate it.
And let's just see. Everybody sees it right away. This man is white.
That's right.
And they don't even know that I'm tall, but I am. Just throwing that out there.
What's your height?
6'2".
Great. And
For casting?
That's right.
Yeah, real to attractive is my type.
That's wonderful. And
Thank
you're
you.
an LA local hire?
LA local hire. That's right. The Silver Lake area.
Oh, only in the Silver Lake area. So if they
I
make
don't
you
like to go too far.
If they make you go to the west side, then they have to pay for the
yeah,
travel.
yeah.
David and I went and saw Shucked the musical at Segerstrom Center for the Arts in Costa Mesa. It's running there through November 23rd. And honestly, I thought when I was planning to go see this show that there'd be no better guest for this dad joke and corny pun extravaganza than my very good funny friend, David Abed.
You know, when the show is called Big Theater Kid Energy, and you just right out of the gate,
I
you got
deliver.
you got that big energy.
You give the title,
Yeah.
and you got to follow it up.
Yeah, because if you're small energy with a big show, no one would get it.
this podcast and said, "Hello,
NPR
and
style.
welcome to Big Theater Kid Energy."
We're asleep.
No,
I
it's
don't want to see that
boring.
show. No.
I don't even want to keep that bit going.
I don't know
'cause I'm
whether
already-
to match you or come under you, so we'll just see how it goes.
I think that's the way to go. Just be authentic.
Oh,
Authentic for what's going to the public.
got it.
not actual authentic.
Ooh, right.
I'm not editing out anything
Please.
bad that you say. David, I just want to talk really quick about you and how
My favorite
really,
subject.
What's up?
My favorite subject.
Right. And how really prolific you are as a social media creator. And also how you've really been working on TV and in this town for a long time. You were on Next and Dating in the Dark. You had a role in the Oscar-nominated movie Babylon. And you have this open-ended arc as the character of Dave in Good Trouble. Nobody knows.
Because they canceled the show. And I mean, obviously, there's a big, pushback from the audiences. What happens to Dave? Last we saw him, he was at his own mother's funeral. Sad. So we left the audience hanging. You know, I also want to say, since it's a theater show, I also, when I was 16 years old, I played the back end of a cow in Jack and the Beanstalk.
Wow, you started early.
Yeah, I was a Montague in Romeo and Juliet in college.
Yeah.
So an illustrious theater, BFA in acting from the University of Michigan.
You never let us
in
forget.
theater, you can't forget. You
It's
have
like
to
how
say
some
it.
people always say Harvard. You're always saying Michigan.
Go blue at every moment.
Just like your comedy.
It'd be nice. So, always been a fan of theater.
And I also saw you do a play out here.
Elevator
Yes.
ran for 8 months. You know the funny thing? I wonder if anybody else, if you're ever in a theater in a play in LA or New York, there's always that whisper. You know what? This show, we're talking to the
my
producers.
gosh.
It's going to Broadway.
Yep.
And you tell your parents.
Well, they
you
said
know
Broadway?
What? They said, I think off, but they said it's going to New York,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
going to the off. And then, funny how those conversations 100% of the time never go anywhere.
Look, a producer's got a job to do, and that's to sell an idea.
Yeah.
To sell this hope, because they're not really selling you; they're selling the money.
That's right.
Right? They're
And they're trying to keep
people
you juiced.
I was in a show that was supposed to go to the Old Globe,
Right.
and the Old Globe is
San Diego, right?
is in San Diego, and it's one of those Broadway incubators, right, where shows go there as a test run to see if Broadway could work.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit.
Oh,
So the producers got off on that one, right?
Yeah.
Because they could say, we didn't know.
that wasn't our fault at all.
What I think was the most surprising thing about you, David, is that somehow you're like the biggest momfluencer. that I know so many moms, and yet you are the biggest momfluencer of all of my friends.
Maybe the biggest male mom influencer.
Do you think so?
I
I would believe that.
I don't know of another page where somebody only does mom content. Obviously, I do other things as well, but
That's like the bread and butter.
the bread and butter.
Your
That's
mom
got me my
character
following.
and also your dad character that sometimes makes an appearance.
Sometimes, and the son character.
Right, always. You're the
yes,
son.
I'm the son. It's been a wild ride. One of those things where you kind of like, not quite like this podcast, but where you try something once, you have an idea and it works. You do it again. You realize you're excited by this. It excites you, and you just kind of ride the ride.
And you get the feedback from it too. Like you're throwing spaghetti against the wall with things like, I like this, I like this, I like this. Oh, this one's getting positive feedback. Maybe I should continue doing this.
And not only positive feedback like, I've missed my mom for years, and this video,
Wow.
Made me remember this or that about her. Or I share your videos with my son, and it's something we can connect over. Or I haven't seen my son in a while. I wish you would call me, and this video made me feel better.
What?
So it's, I get dozens, if not hundreds of comments from moms, a small percentage negative, but there's always got to be the one negative, Nancy, literally. And thank you. But overwhelming positive, and that's what not only keeps me going, it realizes, kind of like podcasts or anything else, you're not just trying to be funny. You're not just trying to get a message across. You're trying to connect with a feeling. And I think it's always trying to figure out what are the feelings that both parents and their kids go through, and what are we all kind of going through, and trying to continue to tap into that. And I think that's where the success has been, and I hope that's where the success continues to go.
Do you think you'll be doing more theater? Like, do you want to do more theater? Do you enjoy doing theater?
I would say the thing about theater, small theater, 99 houses and below, you just never know where you're getting
99
into.
seat houses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I've done them like Elevator. You just audition off Actors Access, and all of a sudden you're having a great time, great experience, great people. You're selling out, and you're like, oh, there's nothing better than live theater.
Yeah.
Then you get in another show where you hate the director, the show sucks, and you still got to show for those.
And the name of that director is?
Yeah. He does a lot of fringe things. We'll just say that.
Don't out yourself.
And he doesn't even know what he's doing. And so it's tough. I'd say as I've gotten older, I think in a way theater is a young man's game, is that you're more willing to take those chances, get into an environment where you're like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm up for the ride. And now I would say I'm a little less up for whatever ride, but to do live theater, I do stand up, I do some improv and stuff. So I still definitely have that live audience bug. And so if something came along, or a cool house or a production that I knew of, I would definitely be.
Well, I think also, like, you, unlike some other people, because the industry out in LA right now is weird.
Very weird.
And it's fits and starts of opportunities, and sometimes it feels like there's no business out here whatsoever anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, this is my next shot. But just to bring up the point of survival jobs that people have, as you kind of have to have when you're working on being a creative in any field that you're going into. But your survival gig is one where you still get to be creative all the time, which I think sets you up for this idea of like, well, if I'm going to be creative in a sense of like getting paid to do somebody else's words, I'm going to be more selective of that versus somebody who maybe is like working, no offense to it, I think it's all these survival jobs are important, but if yours is not feeding your artistic soul in some way, then you're like, any chance to be on stage, any chance to perform, any chance to be in front of camera, it's a much easier yes. Where if you're actually flexing your creative energy, working on social media for yourself and also your lucrative business of working social media for different clients, like you're still flexing that creative energy all over the place.
For a long time, getting an audition or getting a part was what I attached my self-worth to.
Sure.
If you didn't get an audition this week, it was a bad week.
Yeah.
If I didn't book in 2 months, why am I even alive? It's somehow how it feels. And I think working for yourself, it's a grind. It's a hustle. You have the downs and the ups. So one, you have to put your focus into that. And two, finding work within social media, it still allows you that creative outlet to be in front of the camera. But I think even beyond that, it's took therapy and everything else to be like, you know what? My life is worth more than the next audition or the next gig. And I think that alone has allowed me to not have to force being in the bad production or take the the jobs that we've all taken that are soul crushing that really make acting seem worse than better. So I think I feel in a really good place where I still love acting, still love theater, but I get the opportunity to be a little bit more selective because I'm just looking for it to make me happy instead of something that I'm addicted to.
There's also like, there used to be a tenor to your social media that was like, well, can't get a job, this guy. But it just feels like that's kind of like subsided away.
It's interesting. Sometimes I look because, I've had luck recently of social media getting all these followers. And sometimes I look back, I realize I've been making videos for social media for probably 10 years.
Wow.
And my first success became, I used to do this thing called honest headshots, where I'd put graphics on my headshot. The very first one was, please cast me, I'm desperate and insecure.
All self-deprecating.
All self-deprecating. And that first one, I used to get like 10 likes. That one got like 600, which these days would feel like 60,000. It was huge.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I got a little bit of a following and all my skits would be self-deprecating actors. Yeah, can't get the job. And so you built a little bit of following with the acting community around here. And then it is funny, you find, I think the key to social media, as you found with this podcast, it's the niches. Everybody thinks you should be everything to everyone. No, it's about finding the pockets. So my first pocket was social media for actors. And then all of a sudden it got into social media for moms.
Right.
But yeah, self-deprecation has always been a big part of survival.
Now that I've been doing this podcast, I've been getting a lot more into circles with other influencers, especially like in this realm. And one of them, this woman, Leah Knauer, who's very funny. She's a stand-up comedian. She also does a lot of social media. And she posted this thing recently because there was a story about this TikToker who's getting a show made about him, and he's playing the lead role in it. And her point of it was like, this is why I have shifted gears from just being a trained actor waiting for my opportunity to being a trained actor who now is creating and building and putting myself out there and building my own audience so that I can get into the industry in the way that on my own terms.
Yeah.
And I guess the question that I want to ask to you, because you've been doing this for 10 years, if there is a new actor who's coming out here to LA and trying to think like, how do I bust into it? Should I get into social media? Like, what is your answer to that fresh young actor getting out here?
I think actors are often, as we all used to maybe be, we're used to waiting.
Yeah.
We come out here and you get the serving job and then you wait. You wait for your agent to call. You wait for that.
Tables.
You wait. Wow, the puns. Well, we were warming up for the puns for the show.
That's right.
Because you had to have your days free. And so you had to wait on getting a career job. You had to wait for so many things. And now there is no need to wait for anything.
Right.
Auditions or self-tapes. You can don't wait to set yourself up for a career that's maybe not acting.
Right. It used to be you got to have all your clothes in your car because you're going to go to one commercial audition and then make your way to a theatrical audition across town, changing in your car when you get there, and then one more commercial audition in Santa Monica at 4 p.m.
Your day was driving.
It
was driving, going from commercials, from theatrical. Also, with each show, your nerves are insane, too. I mean, I remember you go and audition for a big show, and all day you're nervous, so you can't really think about anything else that day. And like now you have the opportunity to do anything. And I think a lot of times actors are still paralyzed by like, no, and I'm an actor. And I think even some agents or casting directors give the wrong advice. If this isn't your whole life, you're not serious.
Right.
I think that's an old way of thinking.
Where you have to be available for me at any moment of the day. Actually, no, I just have to be available for deadlines.
Creating your own stuff is hard. I think the first thing I notice when anybody comes to me, they're often scared is a strong word, but they're like, I don't know what to do. And posting anything feels nerve-wracking. What if it fails? What if this isn't the thing that I want to end up being my thing? And so paralysis causes most people to do nothing.
Yeah.
And we've all been, even when you have a thing, that thing gets stale. The mom videos feel stale sometimes. And then I do nothing. And so I think the hardest challenge is do something. Figure out, and then once you do it, every time I make a video, I'm sure every time you make this podcast, it does feel good.
Yeah.
Once you post it, even when it sucks, you're like, but I did it.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is just to get off your ass and you just do it.
I am such a perfectionist. And also, I really like held back on putting a lot of stuff out or creating things in that way because one, the perfectionism, but then also I don't know what's authentic to me. And I think that's what's made this podcast so easy to create content for because I love theater. I love talking to people about theater. I love going out to the theater. I love being on stage. All of these things are so authentic to me that even if the actual reel or product or conversation isn't perfect, it doesn't matter. It's honest.
It's honest. And I think important for people to remember, you can put all the time into world of something, doesn't mean you're going to get views. You can
Right.
put no time into something, it could go viral.
Right. You have no control.
The point is, as you just said, if you enjoy it, if you're having fun, yes, it's going to take effort. It's going to be a little hard. It's going to not always work out. But my latest two videos I did for a mom video, it was when your mom doesn't answer the phone. And it's kind of a reverse feeling of usually for moms, when their kid doesn't answer their phone, they're like, oh my God, wait, is my kid in jail? Have they died? And I think, and my point was, when your parents get older, that reverses and you start wondering why your parent doesn't pick up the phone.
Right.
To me, I was like, okay, did I execute it? I don't know. It's fine. I'll put it up. It's almost got 1 million views. I have all these moms saying this is one of the best videos you've done. I got a big sponsorship out of it from another company, all from a video that I thought, well, not my best.
It's mid.
It's mid. But why did it go? It connected to a feeling that all these moms were feeling. Some people were angry about what I said. Some people felt loving about what I said. It doesn't matter. You invoke a feeling. And I think just the reminder is, if I would have said, I'm scared that this isn't the best, I would have missed out on everything that came from one video.
It's so funny. I remember something that you said to me. It was like, oh, this one has a mistake in it. It's like, good. Then people will actually like respond to that. We're getting a lot of comments on that mistake. And I'm like, huh. It's going to get engagement because people feel something about it.
The world is about engagement in so many ways, but on social, unfortunately, negativity gets a lot of push.
Right.
But anything that gets people talking, that invokes a feeling, it can win. So I'd say for people that are feeling stuck in there, just never be afraid to change it up. That video for me was a change up. It was all from Dave's perspective and not from a mom character. Vulnerable, being more yourself than in a character, but it got people saying, oh, I love this side. And so you just never know what new thing might connect with your audience.
Just like you never know what you're going to be doing on a Tuesday night. Just like us.
Just like Captain Transitions.
Captain Transitions.
Couple captains.
It's so interesting. Like now that I've made this, having the theaters and friends of mine come out and saying how much they're excited about it, how much they're happy that there's a more of a spreading the word about theater. And then also one of the stars of Shucked reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, I'd love to give you 2 comps to one of these shows. Which one can you make it to?
Unbelievable.
And Nick Bailey, thank you so much for the invite.
Such a nice guy.
At Nicholas Bailey. We got to meet him after the show. Sweetest human being.
And great in the show.
And wonderful on stage. So that's what we did. We went last night and saw this show in Costa Mesa at the Segerstrom Center for the Arts.
Beautiful.
This theater is part of the Performing Arts Complex in Costa Mesa. It's in Orange County, the Orange County Theater District. Yeah, that's right. It's about an hour drive from Silver Lake. It was really easy, and it was 40 minutes to get back.
Yeah.
The original center opened in 1986.
Oh,
and then that big, beautiful concert hall we saw right across to it, and also this other theater that was built, that expanded happening in 2006.
Okay.
And when we looked up in the house, I couldn't believe how many different balconies there were. It was really like angled and cool. There were 3 different massive balconies, and the sound for the space was like the acoustics were so well manicured. And how many seats do you think are in there?
I say, how many is the Pantages? 6?
It's like 2,600.
Oh, Pantages is 2,600?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe 3?
3,000.
3,000.
It's approgrew 3,000 seats in that theater. I think that might be the biggest one that I've seen out here in LA, or that I've been to yet.
I was going to say, it's funny. I grew up in Michigan. We saw all the big shows at the Wharton Center that's on the Michigan State campus, and theirs looks just like that. And it made me think, looks very different from the Pantages. It made me think, like, are there 2 styles? Is there like theater, like Broadway theater style theaters, and then there's like halls like that one, which I just felt like it had a different aesthetic than a Broadway.
Well, you know, like it depends on the history. It depends on like when they are built, because like the Hollywood Pantages was built in like the 1930s,
right?
And so
Classic
it was actually built as like a vaudeville house and a movie house before it was then transferred into being a theater, and they kept a lot of that Art Deco style within it. This one was built in 1986, so a much different style, much more modern, a lot less of that like, you know, ornate artistry on the ceilings and walls, which I think you see a lot in Broadway, because a lot of those houses are much older as well. So it has to do with when in history the theater was
Look
built.
at you knowing answers.
I'm learning.
What do you host a podcast?
I'm learning. This is episode number 12.
Wow.
It's actually going to come out as episode 11, but it's the 12th one I've recorded.
Wow. Happy to be lucky.
Number 12.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this show.
Let's talk about it.
The book is by Robert Horn. and music and lyrics by Grammy award-winning Nashville songwriting team Brandy Clark and Shane McNally, who are they are very big in the country music world.
So it was written by country folk.
Well, yes, it was written
Artists.
by artists
Country artists
that
folk.
work.
There's a difference.
Music that
Right.
is specifically like country music style music. It originated as a stage version of the 1960s television show Hee Haw.
Oh.
Which Brandy Clark and Shane McNally worked on that original Hee Haw TV program. Yeah, pretty wild. So the musical was originally titled Moonshine, that Hee Haw musical.
Rough title, a little bit.
Because it was hearkening back to the TV show. But then it got hit by the pandemic, and so they went back to the writer's room and kind of kept working through it and found corn, the new central
Element
theme.
of the show.
So it shifted into being about corn.
The Shucked.
I think, Hee Haw has a lot to do with all those puns and corny jokes and dad jokes. So I don't
Have
know.
you ever seen a Hee Haw episode?
Never in my life.
I'm trying to picture it. I don't even know if I'm picturing the right thing.
It's a couple guys in a cornfield of the images that I
Is there
saw.
a fake horse in it?
Probably.
You'd hope so, with a Hee Haw name.
Hee Haw.
Yeah, right.
Or at least a donkey.
Or at least a donkey.
Can't
Yeah.
use any of this. We're using all of it. And it had its regional premiere in 2022 at the Pioneer Memorial Theater in Salt Lake City, and then its Broadway run began.
Does Salt Lake City get a lot of first looks into
don't
Broadway
know.
shows?
This
And
is the
wouldn't have
first one-
expected this to be in Salt Lake City.
But I think this is not like other musicals.
No, we talked about that after the show.
So it began its Broadway run at the Nederlander Theater March 8th, 2023, and then ran for 327 performances and 28 previews until January 14th, 2024. What's it about? Great question.
Thank you.
When Maisie leaves her fiancé, Beau, to find help for her town's dying corn, she meets a fast-talking outsider named Gordy and sets off a chain of secrets, misunderstandings, and endless corn puns.
Do you think when we get older, as a society, people who aren't interested in the theater now will go to the theater? As it kind of seems like this is what kind of older, you have more money to go, and these are the cultural events, or is our attention spans and everything so low that it's as this new crop comes up? Do you think theater is going to be in a tough? Wow, yeah, it starts now. The puns start now.
This new crop
of corny kids. Do you think theater will continue to be as relevant as it is today, knowing that it's still probably not as relevant as it was maybe 20, 30 years ago?
I don't know that it's not as relevant as it was 20, 30 years ago. You have not only the musicals that are still happening on Broadway. I mean, you put out Hamilton as an example. I know that's kind of the star example, but that then getting filmed in such a way that it can go on Disney Plus and be seen in that format by all ages and all backgrounds. And I think the whole point of this is that there's still so many theater kids. It's just so many people going through high school, being in their high school plays. It's not like there's not, when you're talking about, when soccer was becoming a new thing in America, the reason that we didn't play very well against the rest of the world is there wasn't kids playing soccer to then become the professional players that could then fuel these professional teams.
Yeah.
But then once it became bigger and bigger, then you saw soccer camps happening for children and then middle school and high school. So it's building that infrastructure. That infrastructure for theater already exists in America. Every school has its little theater programs.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I think that's one of the purposes of this podcast as well, is letting you know that there's not just theater in New York and Chicago, that theater's available to you all over the country.
Yeah.
And almost all of these theaters have pay what you can nights, and they have discounted tickets. They have student discount tickets. They have lottery programs. So knowing that if you think that you can't go to the theater, then you're missing all the actual opportunities that these big houses are giving for you to find a way to get a seat.
Yeah, and it reminds me of our previous conversation about niche audiences. Yes, every show could be a general audience show, but I think theater is niche in a way. You said, every school has the theater kids.
Yeah.
Every family has that one family member who loves going to the theater. So I think it's
the weirdo. You're trying to say that's the
every
oddball.
family has the weirdo, and here we are.
Yep.
And so I think theater is probably continuing to be about playing to the audience that they know they have while still trying to always grow.
And you know what else I think about theater is there's so many arguments about we're getting so off topic right here because you've really taken me off.
I really have.
Of course, I wanted to talk about Shucked, and you asked me about will theater survive?
That's right.
or will all the audiences die?
Well, I want to see if you have a podcast in 2 years.
I will. There's all these conversations right now about artificial intelligence and people like arguing about like, will AI take over the jobs of actors, voiceover artists, the designers? And I do think that when it comes to what people want from their entertainment, there has to be that human element. There has to be that relatable element, like you were just talking about with the posts that you were making that have the most success, is like, oh, there's something like that connects to my humanity with what you put out.
Yeah.
And that's why it has success. I either agree with it or disagree with it, but it connects.
Yeah.
And that's where I think theater is the purest form of that, because there's not an editor in the way, there's not a screen in the way. You're literally breathing the same air. And if something happens in the house, it happens on the stage.
Yeah.
I was at a show at the Geffen recently where they asked for audience participation. Like they were asking questions, they wanted a response.
Yeah.
And that's going to change the show every night.
Yeah.
And so I think that aspect of, and I think, you look at concerts, like the actual ticket sales for concerts are growing greater than ever. I think people are hungry for live shared experience.
So it could grow. You're saying.
I think for that reason, like there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's super exciting.
Yeah.
And what else is super exciting is laughing.
And I was just going to say, this conversation is such a maze.
As we traverse our way through
To
this corn maze of a conversation. To get to this show is like, because part of that shared experience, watch it like, if, for instance, a comedy movie or a comedy TV show. You watch it at home by yourself. How often are you actually laughing out loud?
Right.
It's different than watching a comedy movie in a theater.
Yes.
It's different than watching a show. Like sitting there and some of these laughs that were like slow rolling laughs because the puns would take you a second to catch on to what was where's he putting that Christmas tree? And, and then as everyone gets it, the rolling laughter, and then the laughter as you're watching these two cast members just stare at each other waiting for the laughter to subside because now they know we get it and we are understanding we get it. Like there's so many then new layers of laughter that get added on top of that.
There was at least 2 or 3 that I probably had a 5 to 10 second delay.
Yeah.
And then I had a
I think this show is like if a multicam sitcom like Reba got turned into a full 2-act stage musical.
Yeah.
The whole point of this musical is for some beautiful singing and some heartfelt songs and some fun songs and 8 jokes a page. Not even 3 jokes a page. We're doing like 8 to 12 jokes. They're coming at you fast. There's a character, Peanut.
All he does is jokes.
All he does, if anybody says, what do you think? We break out into this spotlight on Peanut. And he goes, basically, Jeff Foxworthy, if I were a redneck, like it's all these like, I think. And then he goes off on these just like punny wordplay jokes.
And they're fun.
And they're so fun.
Most of them I've never heard before.
I don't think I heard one of those jokes before that they did the whole night.
Yeah.
And so much witty repartee. Like I thought Miki Abraham, who played Lulu, and Gordy, who was played by Quinn Van Antwerp, the two of them and their little like sexy repartee, I think that was one of my favorite back and forth. Because the thing about this show is that this is such a mess of a podcast because you've thrown me so off.
It's my
with your
fault.
Questions. Yes.
Yeah, it's my fault.
This is the problem with bringing good friends
that's
on,
right.
is that they're like, fuck your structure.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm the podcaster.
Yeah.
The thing about this show is that there's not a lot of stakes.
Yes.
There's not like...
It's a vegan show. There's no real...
This is why I invited you. Because this is why I knew this would be the perfect show for you. Because that's you. You're like, this has nothing to do.
Vegan. It's a pun.
I get it. No,
okay.
I got it.
I just want to make sure.
Even when there are high stakes, like an engagement being broken up, a kiss outside of a relationship, some cheating, it gets like solved so quickly.
Yeah.
It does set us up for some really beautiful songs by Nick Bailey, who played Bo. I thought his songs, I was like, yeah, I want to listen to Nick Bailey's country album. I'm not like a huge country fan, but I want to listen to Nick Bailey sing a country album.
It's fun when you see an actor like that and you look at him, he's a handsome guy, and you don't quite know what's going to come out of his mouth. And then he just hits those first notes and you're like, whoa.
Yes. Oh, same thing about, we both, when Maya Lagerstam, who plays one of the storytellers at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
It was Maya Lagerstam and Joe Mueller. They were so great as a pair.
Good.
I also love Joe's relationship with the audience, where he would make a joke and just connect. Did you guys like that?
I kept thinking, like, this is obviously a show. He's doing this every night, but it really did feel like he was right there with the audience for the first time. Very playful.
And Maya, moment she started singing and opened her voice, she had this like this depth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was what came out of her
okay,
mouth,
well,
but there was a depth to her voice that I went, oh, I'm kind of shocked back into my seat. It was so impressive. But the thing about Nick Bailey too, who plays Bo, is he's playing kind of a dense character, which is so hard.
Very hard.
And he does it so deftly. And then he also like has this great line in there about simple versus ignorant.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think that because we're simple, we're stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that that was such a beautiful statement and so well played by Nick.
I was thinking about him on the way to shoot this podcast because when we met him, he was such a sweet guy, like a real sweetheart. And you think that role does demand a sweetheart to play it because it'd be easy to play him as just dumb.
Yeah.
Or just unlikable. But there was something about him that you really rooted for him. You
Yeah.
really wanted those characters to end up together. And it required a sweetness that I thought he pulled off really well.
Yeah, Bo and Maisie, you want to end up
Yeah.
together. Maisie, played by Danielle Wade, who I was also excellent.
Very good.
In this show. And she also played just that, like, takes everything fully, literally doe-eyed, leaving the small town, going into the big city of Tampa, Florida.
Uh-huh.
So beautifully.
Well, one thing we talked about on the way back home was these are comic actors.
Yeah.
Their vocal intonations is what landed such a large percentage of the jokes. Just the word itself wouldn't necessarily be funny. It was the way they'd say it. And you just think, wow, that takes like a mix of direction and just talented actors taking risk, really. It was a show, I feel like, of taking comic risks.
And just when I saw, we talked about Peanut, but that was played by Mike Nappy, who did all the I think.
Oh.
I thought he was really wonderful.
He was really good.
Really, I think across the board, the actors were great.
No notes.
The music numbers were. It also felt like a musical that was kind of like a commentary on the 1960s musicals. Of like 7 brides for 7 brothers,
Yep.
where it was just like they took themselves so seriously for such silly circumstances. And this one's like, hey, we're gonna like still have those silly circumstances, but nothing's being taken seriously here.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't.
It really did feel like an evolution of where theater has gone because, like we said, Music Man, Oklahoma, these shows are taking themselves pretty seriously back then, but they still have the funniness and looseness. And I feel like this show is saying, it's almost like how we all dress more casually than we used to. It's like, you know what? It doesn't have
No
to
one's
be
going
so...
to the airport in a suit and tie anymore.
Exactly. This is the show for people that don't go to the airport in the suit and tie anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, let's come, have some laughs, have some great singing, some funny characters, and that's maybe all you need tonight.
It's an absolute farce.
It's an absolute farce.
Where
yeah.
none of the actual plot matters.
No.
It's just an opportunity for more jokes and more beautiful singing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think like, but what's interesting about that is the one person I thought that did have real stakes in this show was Quinn Vanantwerp, who played Gordy, the slick talking foot doctor.
Yep.
Because he was actually like terrified of getting whacked by the mob, and his whole song about being from a bad family. And
You commented to me within maybe 2 or 3 minutes of him just being on stage, I like this guy.
yeah,
And we both had that. There was something about him that just, he felt so believable.
Yeah.
It just really felt like this was who this guy is on and off the stage. And that allowed us, I think, to all be even more invested into his character.
I also probably pretty rudely said, I think you'd play Peanut.
Yeah.
And
I
I'd
didn't
play
like this
Gordy.
part of our
Yeah.
conversation. This is what I'm trying to leave.
I saw the I think, and while a laugh was happening, I leaned over and was like, that's the character you would play.
Yeah, of course. The short, dumb guy.
He wasn't short. He was the same height as everybody else.
Shorter than me is all I meant. Okay,
Yeah.
so not a role for tall guys.
Right. This show is just like walk in the theater, click off your brain, and have a good time.
You know, we also saw, worth noting, a lot of people dressed up.
Yeah.
I mean, a fair amount. And it shows this show has a following. People love it. People are going again and again.
People were dressed up, not like dressed up nice. They were dressed up in
Shucking.
theme.
Yeah.
They were ready to shuck.
Yeah. And we laughed a lot, but we didn't even laugh as much as most of the audience.
The house was
loved
loving
it.
it.
Yeah.
This is a real crowd pleaser.
Yes.
That is for sure. Those two, by the way, Storyteller 1 and Storyteller 2, played by Maya and Joe, they had to do so much.
I was thinking the line memorization alone, the paragraphs that they had to say, and then taking on different characters, still singing, still dancing.
Got the one where they had the hat and the glasses and they were on the phone call and there was miscommunication and misunderstandings.
Yes. Oh, that got its own applause.
Well, because
just a bit.
It was just such a well planned and executed bit. This is just so much fun. It's just you got to go in. I know I already did this with Moulin Rouge where I compared it to Les Mis. Like Les Mis is dragging you through it. This one's just like go in and have a good time, have a nice night out, get some dinner, laugh, have a drink.
There's plenty of dramatic theater to see. And I love Les Mis. I love Phantom. I love Hamilton. I love the shows that really like get at your heart.
Yeah.
And this is just a totally different experience. You're right. It's a show to just go have a good time. And your unexpected puns, you're laughing throughout. Yeah, and you just leave with kind of a smile on your face.
One of the reasons there aren't stakes is when the bad guy is revealed for having taken advantage of this town. The town's like, okay.
And he changes too immediately. He's like, you know what? I've been a bad guy.
But I think that's like the reason he was able to change was because they didn't persecute him.
Right.
He goes in with this expectation of, I get it. You're going to call me bad and you're going to punish me for what I've done.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like you had to do what you had to do. And it sucks for us and it sucks for you, but we wish you the best.
Yeah. It's funny how many shows are, we need to save, the town needs saving. And this kind of Weasley guy comes in. He doesn't do it the right way, but he kind of saves the day in the end.
But he learns.
He
learns that my wily ways don't serve me.
I was like, wow, these are pretty common themes in musical theater that we've seen a lot, but just, it's a good reminder. They just did it in a completely new way that I kept thinking, this first script, that when he turns it in, did they go, a little heavy on the puns? But like,
you mean hee-haw? Wait, you mean the first script? I'm sorry, did you mean the first script of Moonshine, that hee-haw musical?
That's right. That's why it was just the hee-haw musical in Salt Lake City for so long. Because you think, this seems ridiculous, but it's like such a crowd pleaser.
It really is. Yeah, I was astounded by, like, even though we were laughing a lot, how much the whole audience was like, every single pun, they're like, yes, more.
Yeah. It's just another reminder people are hungry for that.
And also a reminder that, like, write what's authentic to you.
Right.
You know, like for Robert Horn, for Brandy Clark and Shane McNally, who, is that how you say his name? I'm so sorry. I have to pause the podcast here to say that I believe I've been mispronouncing one of the writers' names.
And he's pissed.
I'm very, very upset with myself. It's Shane McCannally.
McCannally. Mr. McCannally.
Not Shane McNally. I missed that extra A. And for that, I will never forgive myself.
Nor should you.
But I hope you, as a small town of listeners, can see through my
Ever
wily
growing.
ways and accept me for who I am so I can grow.
And if you didn't accept him before, you can keep doing it.
Anyway, as I was saying, this just feels so authentic to them. Like they were actually working on the Hee Haw TV program, and they're like, this is what we find funny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to make a Broadway show that feeds that more stereotypical, sophisticated idea of like what a Broadway show has to be.
And yet it's just as smart as any of those other Broadway shows, just in a different way.
And they're like, there's a show about literal cats. Why can't that's about nothing?
Which is boring.
Why can't there be a show about corn?
Even saying it sounds so ridiculous.
I know, but everything is the pun, right? Shucked sounds like I'm saying like I'm gonna shuck you up.
Right.
Like on corn is immediately corny. Like it's all just like it's built in. The show knows what it is and it does exactly that. Like, you know, like the promise of this show, Shucked, is that we are going to live in ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And silliness.
Times 10.
I think that promise of the show delivers.
Literally delivers every 2 minutes.
I think that there is clearly a huge audience for this show. And I think if that's the kind of stuff you like if you love like classic sitcoms, if you love a joke a minute, if you like dad jokes, if you like sometimes rolling your eyes but laughing through it, this is the show for you. And especially if you just like beautiful voices, hitting some of that twang, but also traditional Broadway musical theater as well. Like they weren't just singing country songs. They're also singing like more traditional type Broadway music.
And this show seems like a show of the moment. I see it come through Pantages almost every year.
Yeah.
And so it's been on my radar for a long time. So I think, if you're a fan of the theater, this is one of the ones that you should just see because it is unique. And I think it's like, is this where we're going? Are we going with more comedy in the theater?
I think we're going with what you said. It's more niche.
It's just more niche. Yeah.
It's not that I don't think this is an example of where theater is going. Mm-hmm. I think this is an example of how there's theater for everyone.
Right.
There is a Les Mis for you. There is a Moulin Rouge for them. There is a Shucked for for whoever wants that kind of musical on stage.
Yes.
You know, so I think that's the point of it.
Yeah.
It's your point being made through what we just saw.
And that's your clip for TikTok right there.
He's the master. I have to do it now. Was I changed by this musical? Did this musical like send me out with my body chemistry shifted from the way I came in?
Right.
Did it fully take advantage of that power of theater to change minds and
Everyone's
change
asking.
points of views? No.
This
This musical made me leave happy.
Yeah.
This musical had me leaving like, that was a blast. That was fun. That was silly.
You're going to repeat at least 2 or 3 of the puns. You're going to re-laugh about them in the car.
Yep.
You're going to talk about
I'll never forget that Christmas tree one.
the grave mistake and the Christmas tree.
No, the great mistake was marrying grandma on that steep hill.
Yeah, classic. Already classic. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? It's just a fun time. You're going to leave saying, what a fun little night.
And also, like, if you wanted to take some kind of message from it, like, forgive your friends. Forgive your
Wow.
family. You know, like, there are going to be misunderstandings. There's going to be disputes. But just don't forget what brought you together in the first place.
Wow.
You know, can you get past those bigger misunderstandings or those bigger moments of, like, I feel like you lied to me or took something from me? Just remember, like, we love each other for a reason.
That's right. And, you know, Gordon was the character.
Gordy.
Gordy. His whole thing was, you know, his parents had these expectations. He's trying to live up to his parents' wishes and everything. I mean, there are interesting themes throughout.
Yeah,
And
it's just that we never want to get too deep into those
you just
themes.
never get too deep in them. And you're so lost in every pun that you almost forget what is going on. And
Yeah, wait, what happened? We just broke out to another, I think
Exactly.
break.
Yeah.
One of the moments that I thought actually did really speak to me was the, you know, Bo having this whole plan, how he's gonna get Gordy and he's gonna convince him to like to expose himself for all the bad he's done, and then through that plan actually becomes brothers with him.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, just to really relate and love him.
Yep.
And I thought the way that they did that scene,
The drunk scene?
it was so good. That I really loved.
Yeah, very creative.
Great. Yeah, I would say, like, if you have a chance to make it out to Costa Mesa to see this show,
Beautiful theater.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't like, I was blown away by how gorgeous the whole campus was there.
Yeah. And easy parking. I mean, it's a great experience, top to bottom. I'm definitely always not one to go all the way down to Orange County, but I would recommend it.
And Dave, do you have anything to promote right now, or where people should find you or see you?
Please just check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Dave Abed, just like my name, DAVEABED. Also see us in some law videos. I help teach employment law to people of California, so you might see me on that. And besides that, just see me along the way.
And everyone wants to know, is lunch required before the 5th or the 6th hour of work?
It's actually required before the end of the 5th hour, which is another way to say lunch for hourly workers in California must be before the 6th hour.
Before the 6th hour begins.
Before the 6th hour begins. Yes, thank you.
Wow.
And just get ready for the comments.
I'm sorry. I
Come
brought
at
that
us.
up. All engagement is good
Yeah,
engagement.
that's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on this podcast.
David.
Thank you for taking me out to the show.
Yeah.
This was great.
And thank you all for watching all the way to the end. Make sure you subscribe to Big Theater Kid Energy everywhere that you can subscribe to things. Rate and review us on podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And us. I'm the only one. It's just me.
But you can subscribe to me separately.
But also subscribe to Muchos Garcias, I guess.
Right.
And thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. As always, let me know if you want anything different on the show, you want me to see any different shows, have any guests on here, segments in the podcast. And thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We got Big Theater Kid energy. Look out, we project, we sing out, Louise. Never market, always go full out. Pukaka-pukaka. John Patrick Shanley never had a doubt. Our voices are warm, fan kicks are high. We've got perfect form. We say thank you, five. Grab your prop, charge all the glow take. Curtains going up. 5, 6, 7, 8. We got Big Theater Kid.